Hey guys, and welcome to another series between me and Megacaza. We're tied at 1-1. I won the T20 series, he won the One Day series. Now we're going to the all-time greats Test Match series. First and foremost, look over these powerhouse teams and see who we've selected and whatnot. One thing I will say, we both agreed on this. So Donald Bradman is probably too dominant for both the all-time greats teams, so none of us selected him. Just to point that out before we start. So this is the World 11A. This is my team. So let's go through the team. Sachin Tendulkar, one of India's finest players, if not their best cricketer they've ever produced. The man debuted as a teenager, dominated for a few decades, played 200 test matches, 51 test hundreds, 68 50s, average of 53.79, and just shy of 16,000 runs. I had to select this guy, and that is the legend Sachin Tendulkar. Brian Charles Lara, the man that when he got in, he could bat for a very long time with scores of 375 for the world record to reclaim it back against England, 400 not out, and 501 in a domestic game. The man was absolutely incredible. He carried the West Indies on his shoulders for year on year. 48 50s, 3400s, average of 52.89, just shy of 12,000 test runs. Had to select this guy as well. A very surprise selection, but I think he deserves a spot in this series, and that is Stephen Smith, current Australian player. Average of 62.84 off the bat, 2600s, 2950s. Can do a wee bit of bowling here and there as well, but I'm hoping Steve Smith proves me right in this series with some fantastic flamboyant play that he's real known for. Unusual technique, but it works for him. Lynne Hutton, I've selected pretty much his first class record speaks for itself. 129 hundreds, 179 50s, over 500 first class games. Pretty much a real dominant figure back in the 1930s. I believe he debuted. Yeah, in the 30s, and played pretty much really into his 40s as well. Sublime cricketer. Picked his opening partner, Jack Hobbs. Just 100 short of 200 first-class hundreds in his career. 273 50s. Over 61,000 runs. High score of 316 in his first-class career. Remarkable to play that amount of matches. 61 test matches, of course, for the England side. 28 50s, 1500s, had to select Jack Hobbs. And yeah, just looking at his career, he played pretty much before World War One and well after that as well. So incredible 30-year first-class career. What a player that guy would have been to watch back in the day, and a pleasure to have him in my team. George Headley, I picked Don the Black Bradman of his era for the West Indies. Didn't play too many test matches in his career. 1000s, 550s, average of 60.83, high score of 270. But you had to pick this guy because his first class career is just simply phenomenal. 44 50s, 3300s, average of 69.87. George Headley, welcome to my team. Hopefully you contribute some good runs for us. Kumar Sengakara, I would say in the top two Sri Lankan cricketers of all time. Very hard to decide between him and Muralitharan as to who would be the better cricketer out of the two. The record speaks for itself as a keeper. I believe he averaged over 60 for them when he was pretty much a keeper, I believe. Could be wrong there. But he averaged 57.41 in his career. 52 50s, 3800s, 12,400 runs. Would you say he's the best wicket-keeper batsman of all time? It'd be very hard to debate That who you think is in that discussion as one of the greater keepers of all time? Andy Flower was a very interesting selection from me. I picked the Zimbabwean great. I'd say the best cricketer produced from Zimbabwe. 63 test matches, average of 51.55, 27 50s, 12 hundreds. When Zimbabwe were really good in their era of the late 90s, early 2000s, this guy was a prominent run scorer. Clyde Walcott has been selected. He has amazing statistics. 44 matches, average of 56.69, 1500s, 1450s, 220 his highest score. Pretty much he paired up with the three W's. Can you guys name them in the in the comments? Be very interested to know people's knowledge from back in that time. I certainly know them, but do you guys? Jack Callis. I selected this guy in my team last time in the one-day international series against Megacaza. Probably in the discussion as the best cricketer to ever play the game, all-round wise. 166 test matches, 4500s, 58 50s, an average of 55.37, 13,289 runs. To go with his 292 wickets at 32.65. That is absolutely remarkable. He was a joy to watch, Jack Callis. Very, very good seam bowler as well. Grew up watching, probably one of my favourite cricketers of all time. Kapil Dev, the great Indian all-rounder of the late 70s through to the 80s. Pretty solid stats, actually. 131 test matches, 27 50s, 800s, average of 31.05. And 434 test wickets, average of 29.65. A genuine all-rounder, and he had a best of 9 for 83, 23 5 wickets bags, and 2 10-fers in a match. Richard Hadley, New Zealand's finest cricketer, makes his way into the side. I had to pick a New Zealander in this team, as I am from New Zealand. Richard Headley had some pretty good numbers as a batsman. Felt he could have probably did a bit more. I watched the ESPN Cricket Info series when Ian Botham talked about it. He could have averaged a bit more with the bat, but he had to carry New Zealand's bowling attack on his shoulders for the majority of his career, and his statistics are incredible as a test match bowler. 431 wickets, an average of 22.30, 9 for 52 is best against Australia, 36 5 or more, and 9 10-fers in his career, and that is Richard Hadley. Shane Warne, the greatest leg spinner from all time, from Australia. 708 test match wickets, 25.42 is average, 37 5 or more, 10 10-fers in his career. Will be remembered for his sharp turn, bowling round the wicket, and just causing batsmen incredible problems. Very unfortunate not to get a century in his career as well. I remember that 99 was scored against New Zealand. He was caught by Mark Richardson on the boundary. Would have been good to see Warne get 100 there, but Warne had to make my side. We needed a really good world-class spinner, and Warne fit the bill. Wasim Akram. The man could reverse swing the ball like anything. Phenomenal cricketer from Pakistan. Talented as well. 414 wickets, average of 23.62. 25 fifers and 5 10 wicket in a match. Could bat a little bit as well. 104 test matches with 300s and 750s down the order, and with a high score of 257 is really respectful numbers. But yeah, him and Hadley are going to cause all sorts of problems for our Megacaza's team. Well, I'm hoping anyway, but Megacaza has some good players in his lineup too, so I'm not writing anything out. Curtly Ambrose. Curtly Ambrose was part of a really good crop of West Indian fast bowlers from back in the day. 405 wickets at 20.99. Any average under 21, you are talking all-time great. So currently Ambrose, congratulations, you made my team. 8 for 45, his best figures, 22, 5 or more, and 3 in a match. But yeah, as you can see, his career spanned from the late 80s to just the early part of the 2000s. Where are we? The lineups. Hang on, I've just lost my spot here. Yeah, we're slowly working our way through this team. Glenn Mcgrath. As mentioned in the one-day international series, the guy could bowl it on a piece of string. He could just pinpoint where he needed to bowl. Similar to Richard Hadley in terms of just bowling in that in-between length where players didn't know either to come forward or back. 563 wickets, an average of 21.64. 8 for 24 is best. 29 fivers and 3 tempers. I reckon Glenn Mcgrath is the finest exponent of line and length bowling we will ever see, and it'll be very hard to replicate his statistics and numbers. And I also remember him getting a half century against my New Zealand team with pairing up with Jason Gillespie, and that remarkable partnership they had. Jim Laker is very well known for his pretty much feat of getting, I think, was it 19 test wickets in one match, and a best of 10 for 53, average of 21.25, 193 wickets. I thought I'd get a spinner to back up Warne, and obviously Megacaza had picked someone that we'll see later in the video that I wanted, but Jim Laker is a very good backup to Warne, if not playing in the same team as him. Dale Steyn bowled with such intensity. Dale Steyn, 439 wickets, 22.95 the average, 751 is best. Just a man you want to bring on at any time to get your wicket, Dale Steyn. I'm in a tongue twister. Dale Steyn pretty much is your man to get the wickets. And that's my team. And now we'll go over the Megacaza team. Megacaza's picked one of my favourite players from the late 70s through to the very early 90s, and that is Sir Viv Richards. The incredible career he had. He is remembered for his style of batting, his aggressive batting. 8,540 runs, high score of 291, average of 50.23, 45 50s, 2400s. A very good strike rate for the era he played in all formats. Viv Richards is a very interesting but very good selection from Megacaza. Sunil Gavaskar, a very good opener from India from the 70s. I believe he played right into the 80s. Yeah, he did. Very, very good cricketer as well. Sunil Gavaskar. 125 test matches. Just over 10,000 runs in his career. Highest score of 236. 51.12 his average. 45 50s, 3400s. Does a bit of commentary these days. And remembered at the first World Cup for that bizarre innings India played trying to chase down India. They showed the white flag getting 112 for 3 off about 60 overs, I believe. But yeah, very good test match batsman, and another very good selection. Geoffrey Boycott from England. I love this selection. I love this guy's commentary. He is straight to the point, very honest bloke. 609 first-class matches, 48,000 runs plus those amount of hundreds and 50s. You had to pick a guy like this because he knows how to do it. And Geoffrey Boycott forged a really good test career as well. 42 50s, 2200s, average of 47.73, high score of 246. I like that selection. I really do. Mark Waugh. I am very surprised Megacaza picked Mark Waugh. I would have gone Steve Waugh, but Mark Waugh is just as talented. Very classy player. played for Australia through the I think the very late 80s right through to the early-ish 2000s. 128 test matches, 8,029 runs, 47 50s and 20 hundreds. Like, Australia had a lot of good batsmen around that time, and he was certainly one of them. And those are really good numbers from Mark War. A.B. de Villiers, very exciting cricketer. Remembered for his exploits in the one-day international game, but just as good in the test game. Like, AB can take a game away from you. Very aggressive batsman. 46 50s, 2200s, average of 50.66, high score of 278. Felt AB de Villiers retired a bit too early. What do you guys think about that in the comments too? I reckon he could have still play now. He's that good. Javed Miandad, the great Pakistan batsman from back in the day. There's some incredible talent that is on display in this series, and incredible talent that missed out. But this man certainly is in the discussion as one of the best batsmen of all time, and deserves to be in this all-time great series. 124 Test matches, 52.57 the average, 43 50s, 2300s, high score of 280. Had a career spanning 3 decades as well, 74 to 90. Yeah, he was around a long, long time. And deservingly so. Very, very interesting selection, but a good selection again. Vanu Mankad from India. 650s, 500s, average of 31.48, 231 his highest score. Can do a bit of bowling as well. Genuine all-rounder, 162 wickets at 32.32. Don't know much about Vanu Mankad. I believe he played in... played in the really early days of Test cricket for India, 46 to 59. Those are actually really good stats for an Indian player from that time, because India, for me, really took cricket on when they won the 83 World Cup. The game just boomed over there. Like, I'm really stoked to say that I've got a really amazing group of guys that watch from India and from people from Asia in general. I really, really do appreciate you guys watching these videos. But yeah, Vanu Mankad, if you guys can tell me a little bit about him, if you've got footage of any of his games, I'd love to know a bit more about that guy. Ken Barrington from England, 35 50s, 20 hundreds, average of 58.67, 256 high score, 6,806 runs. Ken played for England pretty much in the 50s and 60s, and was a very good player as well. Like, now we're talking some players that are really talented. Ricky Ponting, former Australian captain, from a very dominant era of Australian cricket. Ricky Ponting, when he was on song, man, he was a brilliant driver of the cricket ball. One of my favourite players to watch. 62 50s, 41 hundreds, 51.85 is average, 257 runs, 13,378 runs. Even towards the end of his career, Ricky Ponting, the man put errors and errors into his game. Even when he was struggling, I admired his absolute determination to graft out some hundreds. Of course, he was a very good leader of men. I believe he led Australia to 16 Test wins in a row. But yeah, phenomenal selection from Megacaza. And I'm glad Ricky Ponting's a part of this series as well. You can't have a series of Test cricket all-time greats without the Adam Gilchrist in this series. The man changed how the game is meant to be played at the wicket-keeper role. Come in with Australia in trouble at times. He'd play aggressively, play brilliantly, and change the game just like that. Also, the fact he could pretty much put Australia into winning positions very, very quickly with how he batted. His strike rate throughout his career was 82 in Test match cricket. 26 50s, 1700s, average of 47.61, high score of 204, 5,570 runs. Pretty much it's either between him and Sengakara for me for the best wicket keeper of all time, and it will be very interesting to see how those two perform in the series. Imran Khan. Megacaza's gone for Imran Khan again. The numbers speak for itself. Imran Khan was a very special player for Pakistan, a great leader of men, and as mentioned in the last video, in the One Day International World Cup, he inspired Pakistan by the way he played. Test match numbers we'll talk about now. 88 test matches, 3,807 runs, highest score 136, 37.69 the average, 1850 600s, and with his test match career with the wickets, 362 at 22.81. I think this is going to be a phenomenal series. There's just so many good players on display here. Ian Botham. And again, impressive numbers from Ian Botham. Like, there are 4 really good all-rounders from the 80s. And that was Botham, Hadley, Kapil Botham, Hadley, Kapil, and who we just mentioned before, Imran Khan. But yeah, Ian Botham had some great battles with Australia over the years, in the Ashes in particular. He got them out of trouble in one particular game. I believe it was a scenario in the Shane Warne cricket game of '99 on PlayStation 1, if you guys played that game. But yeah, 1400s, 2250s, average of 33.55, very respectable average, and a phenomenal test match bowling average as well, 383 wickets at 28.40. Best of 8 for 34, 27 5 or more in an innings, and 4 10-fers. If I picked Jack Callis, Megacaza had to pick Garfield Sobers. Garfield Sobers is in the discussion as one of the greatest all-rounders to play the game. 30 50s, 2600s, 57.78. Former world record holder, the guy had a score of 365 not out, which stood a very long time till Brian Lara beat it. One thing about the West Indies too, it just shows you how good a batsman they produce. Like, Brian Lara's got 400 not out, 375, and Garfield Sobers 365. Chris Gale, I think 333. And yeah, it's just phenomenal. 57.78 the average, can't complain about that, and 235 wickets at 34.04, so very handy player for the team. Malcolm Marshall could do a bit of batting, but he's more known for his bowling. The West Indies produced some fearsome bowlers in their day, and he was one of them. 376 wickets at 20.95, 7 for 22 his best, 22 fifers, and 4 10 or more in a game. Yeah, some of these guys craft incredible records. 1,651 wickets at 19.11 is insane. Kumble from India. I remember this guy so well. Not for the bowling effort in this particular game, but batting wise against Australia when he was trying to save the match. When Michael Clarke got all those wickets towards the end of the game, this man fought valiantly to keep his side in the game and get a draw for them. Do a wee bit with the bat, 550s and 100 in his career, but 619 test match wickets, 29.65 the average. Of course, he got a 10 for in a game as well, 35 5-wicket bags, and 8 10 or more in a game. An absolute legend of Indian cricket. The great fast bowler from back in the day, good old Dennis Lillee from Australia. 355 wickets at 23.92, 7 for 83, 23 fifers, and 7 10 or more in a match. He played in the 70s and 80s for Australia. I just remember him bustling in like in the old videos, and he was rapid. And even when he was a bit older, I believe, he was still quite rapid. I think there's a game against, is it Pakistan or something, and he was close to 50 or something like that, and he was still reeling them down, I believe. Yeah, around a long time. Debuted in 1970, career ended 1984. 72 to 84. But yeah, one of my favourite players to watch. Getting through this list slowly, guys. Michael Holding. I would have to say Michael Holding, a very good commentator, very knowledgeable guy, very enjoyable to listen to. You sort of always have to listen to what he says because it's very knowledgeable and very insightful. But his career was really good as well. 249 wickets at 23.69, 8 for 92 his best, 13 5 wicket bags and 210 or more. No wonder the West Indies in the 80s were so good. Their bowling averages for all their pace bowlers were so good. Themataurian, the great wizard he was, 800 test wickets at average of 22.72, 67 5 or more in an inning, 5 wicket bags, sorry, 22-10 or more. This guy has to go down as the greatest bowler to ever played the game. Surely there's a bit of controversy, if you can call it that, about his bowling action, but he was within the laws, and his ability to turn the ball both ways and his variations made him very hard to read and play. And of course, I wanted this guy on my team, but of course Megacaza has snapped him up fairly so. But that is his team as well, guys. I'm sorry if I bumbled my way a bit through that, but without further ado, let's get into the first test match. We'll go over the teams that we have both selected. Okay, we are back. We will go over the teams that have been selected. So here is my team for the first game. We're opening up with both Sirrs, Hutton and Hobbs. Got Sachin Tendulkar at 3, Headley at 4, Steve Smith at 5, Callis at 6, Sengakara at 7, Richard Hadley at 8, Laker and Warne at 9 and 10, and Glenn Mcgrath at 11 make up my team. So all these talented players miss out. Brian Lara doesn't make the team. Andy Flower, Walcott, Kapil Dev, Akram Ambrose and Stain. Obviously those guys will get to play in this series. So here we got Megacaza's team for game 1 of this test match series. Sunil Gavaskar opening up with Jeffrey Boycott. Javed Miandad at 3, Viv Richards at 4, Mark Waugh at 5, Gilchrist at 6, Garfield Sobers at 7, Imran Khan at 8, Kumble at 9, Michael Holding at 10, and Dennis Lilly makes up his team at 11. Ricky Ponting, both and Marshall Muralitha missing out the highest wicket taker of all time. That is very interesting. But he's gone for a little bit more batting in his lineup, which is probably a very good decision. I'm very much looking forward to seeing who wins this game, and we are going to find out very shortly. We folks have got a rout. Megacaza's team has completely dominated the first test and winning by an innings and 40 runs. So we'll go over the performances here. The World 11A only scored 167 in their first innings, with Hutton 40, Headley 49 only scoring. Kumble 3 for 49 was brilliant. Imran Khan holding 2 wickets apiece. Sobers with a handy 2 for 15 with the ball. But you're very disappointed with that. We had a lot of batting in there, like Kumar Sengakara had really huge averages. Just couldn't get going against that really classy attack. And they capitalised. 100 to Garfield Sobers. Miandad 97, 50s to Boycott and Waugh. Glenn Mcgrath 6 for 106 was the pick of the bowlers for my bowling unit. But yeah, as you can see, these guys were able to build partnerships where I wasn't. Top 3 were exceptional. 46, 89 and 89, and partnership between Waugh and Sobers 97, and Sobers and Holding, with Holding getting a few runs there as well. And if you look at the scorecard there, Mark Waugh fought hard, 51 off 85, warranted his selection in this all-time series. Batted a wee bit better in the second innings, my team did, with Callis and Sengakara getting 64 and 49, but we were blowing out the water in this game. Imran Khan 4 for 64, Holding 2 for 64, Lilly 3 for 45, And a very good display from Team Megacaza there. And I've got a lot of work to do if I'm going to turn this series round. So we're back with the second test match, guys. And of course, I've had to make some changes to the team. Into the team comes Brian Lara, got Wazim Akram and Curtly Ambrose. I've tried to keep the team relatively the same. Hopefully it can bounce back and make it go to a series decider. Like I said, there's some guys that probably will want some runs after a very disappointing display in that first test. I was shocked when I lost that game by an innings. But let's see what Megacaza did to his team. He's making the one change. He's just swapping in for Mcgrath. And I'll just shuffle the order. Mcgrath is a number 11. But yeah, he's pretty happy with his lineup. They did a very good job. The bowling was absolutely sublime. Hopefully, we get to see Mcgrath work his magic in this match. Get a few wickets here and there. But without further ado, guys, let's get to the result. What a match we have just simulated. My team won a thriller by 32 runs. The leg spin of Shane Warne got my team home. But we'll go over the full analysis of this game now. So my team batted first, posted a very disappointing 156 all out. So the batting woes continue. Mcgrath got through some overs and got 5 for 46. Khan was got up front, 2 for 29. Lily was good as well, 2 for 27. But you can see Mcgrath got the key wickets of Hobbs, Tendulkar, Jacques Callis. He got the wickets of Warne and Mcgrath towards the end. And yeah, just stifled our momentum yet again. We just got nothing really going whatsoever. And our run rate was really slow as well. Look how economical the bowling was. Pretty much. Partnerships as well. The first two partnerships were exceptional, and then there was just nothing. The bowling just come together quite well. Megacaza's got a really good bowling unit in really good form at the moment. So in their first innings, the World 11B, Megacaza's team, Shane Warne, absolute standout performer, 7 for 64. And had a wee bit of support from the other bowlers, but he was key in bringing this game back into contention for us at least. So Gavaskar and Miandad both posting 50s. Boycott was got up front with 47. And yeah, just good solid partnerships for these guys. 100-run stand between Gavaskar and Boycott. But even though the partnerships weren't substantial at the time, the Megacaza's team was building a very solid lead just by getting those partnerships. They had a lead of over 100 going into this second innings. But we did a really good job in this innings. Hobbs, 99 off 206. Tendulkar, 82 off 119. Callis, 44 off 95. Ensured we got over 300 at least and gave us something to bowl at. The Seamers did a pretty good job in this innings. Khan, 3 for 62. Lily, 4 for 62. Mcgrath, 2 for 68. Even Glenn Mcgrath and Curtly Ambrose. Those were vital runs in the end. You've got to think we only won by 32 runs. So good on them. We'll look at the partnerships now. That partnership of 140 between Hobbs and Tendulkar could well be a match-winning partnership there. And Callis and Ambrose and Callis and Mcgrath combined to get us over 300 in that second innings. They're chasing 178 for victory, I believe, and they've collapsed a little bit. Again, the main destroyer, Shane Warne, 5 for 48. Curtly Ambrose, 3 for 28. Yeah, it looked really good. The top four got a reasonably good start. Boycott, Miandad, and Richards all got starts. One of them needed to kick on and get that score not out towards the end of this game to get the series win for Megacaza. But still, you'd think with War, Gilchrist, Sobers, and Calm. One of them would at least got 20 or 30 and got Megacaza's team home. But as you can see, Warne got the wickets of Gavaskar and Boycott. Ambrose got the key wickets of Mandad and Richards. Warne got War, Gilchrist, and Lily out. And pretty much just partnerships again. First two partnerships are good. Had a platform to win the test and didn't capitalise on it, unfortunately. So yeah, just looking at the run rates for all the games as well. Look how dragged out the run rates are and everything as well. It just shows how good these bowlers were to be able to pick up regular wickets in this match. You look at the over by over stats. They're very economical throughout. But very, very good test match. We're going to another deciding game, which is really good. And yeah, we'll be back with changes and game 3. Rightio, we head into the third test match, one apiece. Both people have made changes to their team. My team will be up first, of course. Hutton, Hobbs, Tendulkar, Lara, Callis, Clive Walcott, Andy Flower again in the game. Aussie Macram, Warne, Dale Stain into the team, and Curtly Ambrose make up our 11. So, just looking at the form, obviously Steve Smith had a bit of a shocking series, Sengakara as well. Hadley didn't do much. Mcgrath did a wee bit in one of the innings in the first test, but not much since. So that is hence why I brought in a few changes. Still a phenomenal team. I'm hoping I get the result, but it'll be good for the series if Megacaza won too, because it's really fun to do these sort of videos. Okay, here's Megacaza's changes to his team. He's made a very interesting one at the top of the order. AB de Villiers finds himself opening the batting and the keeping duties, which will put some interesting stress on his body. Pretty much, keepers usually known in test match cricket batting 6 or 7. But AB de Villiers is a special talent, average of 50.66 as you can see, and he has a wealth of experience. To go with Jeffrey Boycott at the top of the order. Me and Dad at 3, Richards at 4. Ricky Ponting finds his way into the team at 5. Barrington at 6. Ian Botham getting a run at 7. Khan at 8. Kumble at 9. Marshall at 10. Malcolm Marshall, that is. And Dennis Lilly. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing who wins this particular fixture. My team has come out on top, winning this fixture by 86 runs, coming back from behind for a second consecutive test match. We will go over this in full analysis. Pretty much, we batted first, my team, the Themataurian's team. Malcolm Marshall had an outstanding day at the office, 6 for 49. Tore away the middle to lower order completely. Both of them got a couple of wickets and a wicket apiece to Khan and Kumble. Jack Callis, 70 out of 171 deliveries, a very important innings because no one else got above 50 in that display there. So yeah, we'll look at the partnerships now. Pretty much 2 solid partnerships to begin, and then Jack Callis hung around and built little partnerships with Walcott, Flower, and Akram. And only getting 238 in that first innings. The Megacaza team would have fancied their chances, but they didn't capitalise either. Dale Stain having a fantastic day at the office, 6 for 84, brought into the team for his raw pace. 2 for 25 for Curtly Ambrose. Captain Viv Richards leading from the front. 65 of 106 deliveries, 9 fours, 1 6. Ken Barrington, 58 of 97. But you would have to say Megacaza will be disappointed in his top 6. No one converted into a big score to put my team out of the game, effectively. The partnerships are very solid start for de Villiers and Boycott. Me and Dad and Richards put a good partnership together. So did Ponting and Ken Barrington, sorry. So they had a small innings lead going into the second innings. We batted a little bit better. Share of the wickets for Marshall, Khan, Lilly and Kumble. Hutton for me, 91 off 191 was top scorer. Jack Callis with 40 off 90. Flower, 56 of 173, fought for a very long time and got a wee bit of spot from Akram, Warne, Stain and currently Ambrose, and we scrambled to a score of 333 all out. So that left the World 11A with just over 300 to get, I believe, and they unfortunately fell short. With Dale Steyn picking up 12 wickets for the match. How was he not man of the match? Defies me. But yeah, Ponting and Barrington, the only men getting over 50s. It was never going to be enough. And they were in trouble at 55 of 4, and it looked like the game was swivelling towards Megacaza's favour when Ponting and Barrington got that partnership going. Both of them 34 off 72. Just could not get support from Khan Kumble, who can bat a little bit as well. But yeah, credit to Dale Steyn, brought into the squad. Took 12 wickets for my team, and more importantly, won me the series. It was a thrilling series. Like the first game, I thought, jeepers, Megacaza's picked the perfect team for this format and was going to blow me away 3-0. But credit to my guys, they fought back well in the second and third test matches to get 2 wins. But yeah, as you can see, the one substantial partnership between Ponting and Barrington. They just needed one more partnership to win this series. But now, guys, we'll look over the performers of the series. And yeah, we'll tell you what is in store for this Themataurian Megacaza series coming up. Okay, just going over some of the statistics over the course of the 3 test matches. Gee, some of the real out-and-out stars were disappointing. Tendulkar, 186 runs at average of only 31. Brian Lara, 68 runs at an average of only 17. Steve Smith, 25 runs at only 6.25. My 2 openers, Hutton and Hobbs, are okay, averaging 36.83 and 34.83 respectively. The standout performer, though, with the bat would have to be Jack Callis. 254 runs at 50.8. Was quite brilliant. The only player I didn't really play in the series was Kapil Dev. But yeah, just really struggled with the bat in this series, which is to be expected because there were some world-class bowling units put together. The wickets, pretty much the standout. Shane Warne, 14 wickets at 22.36, and Dale Steyn, 12 wickets at 12.92. Phenomenal series for them. Currently, Ambrose, Akram, and Mcgrath were handy, but they didn't really stand out in the series for me. But overall, we'll look at Megacaza's team now. And he had some really good, solid performers with the bat, like Viv Richards, Gavaskar, Boycott. Modest averages, but if you compare his batting lineup to mine got outperformed severely. Me and Dad was a standout in the series, 227 runs at 45.4. Barrington had a good one-off test match, average of 55, 110 runs for the game. So did Ricky Ponting, 86 runs, average of 43. Both of them added a bit of value. The Sobers was good as well, 120 runs at 60. The wicket takers for him, Imran Khan, 14 wickets at 21.57. He was one of the pick of the bowlers. Dennis Lilly, 12 wickets at 18.92. Murullithran, the one game, surprisingly, only played by Megacaza, 7 wickets at an average of 16.29. Marshall, 8 wickets at 17.82. You'd feel, by looking at these statistics, that this team outplayed my team for great facets of the series. I only had like 1 or 2 standout performers that got me over the line in 2 of the test matches. But that brings a wrap to the all-time greats test series. The next series will be Themataurian versus Megacaza, the all-time Australian series, where 2 squads of 15 will be compiled for the T20 series. Very much looking forward to bringing you guys that. Please like the video, share it around. I do love putting this content together, and we'll see you again next time.